Hello everybody, my name is KirkpattieCake. I'm an author and robot, and today I'm getting ready to head out on a road trip to the Imaginarium conference. I think this is the 8th year of its existence, but it is my first year, so I'm getting ready for a long drive, and hopefully I can share some of the experience with you guys in my first ever vlog, so I don't promise it's going to be great, but it's going to be a long drive, and see you soon. Hello everybody, my name is KirkpattieCake. I'm an author and robot, and I promise, ignore the shades, ignore the shirt. I am not a Fed. I'm not a Fed. But if you saw the intro, I was very tired. Probably not as tired as I am right now. But that was at the start of that was at the middle of last week. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I went to Kentucky last weekend for the Imaginarium conference, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. I guess this video is going to be more of kind of an update, general things going on type of video, and throughout the video, as I talk about the different things that I was doing and have been doing and did, I'll put pictures of the various places that I went and took pictures of. Look, now I'm not the greatest at vlogging, so I really didn't vlog at the conference, but I will talk about what I did at the conference and what I saw, and we'll get all into that. But before I get started, just a couple of things. Number one, hello. I feel like I haven't done this in forever. It's only been like 2 weeks. I feel like I haven't done this in forever. But check out LBRY down in the description below for August. It's going to be so much fun. If you want to write a short story to a prompt and be featured on this channel, that is your chance. Number two, check out Pitch Fit. Number two, check out Pitch Fit, which is your opportunity to pitch your book on this channel. You give me all of the information, I will pitch it to this audience, and hey, maybe you will find new readers. It worked for people in the last quarter. All you got to do is make sure that you've got a good book, and readers are looking for things to read. I mean, come on. And a couple of other things not related to those is my second book, Bleed More, Body More, will be going to ARC readers soon and is currently available for pre-order. So check that out if you're interested. It's going to be lit. I mean, this is what we're looking at here. I know. And angst. You know, you got a nice boyfriend and you got some angst. So check it out. And if you want, follow me over on Instagram at KirkpattieCake. I'm actually going to attempt to be better at keeping sort of informed or sharing sort of stuff that I'm doing or stuff from my books over there. I don't know how well I'm going to do at that. I've always sucked at social media, but I've already got a couple of things over there for Dead End Drive, and you'll be seeing some stuff on there for Bleed More, Body More, and you'll see some stuff on there for my current whip, which is Boom Boom Boom. You'll find information about that in my AuthorTube tags. And it has to do with the shirt and the feds, and it's a satirical thriller, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, follow me over on Instagram to get more updates on specifically the stuff that I'm working on or what I have coming out. My next book is coming out in October, so look forward to that. It's going to be fun. I don't feel like I have enough time at all to work on everything that I want to work on, so but that's where we're at. So anyway, that is, I think, all of the pre-items before I start talking about what I was doing last weekend, which was Kentucky. So I first want to say thank you to Steven Zimmer and Holly Philippe for having me as a panelist and workshop teacher. It was a fantastic opportunity, and I'm so glad I got to be there, and I'm so glad that I got to go to my first Imaginarium conference. It was an adventure for sure. 15 hours in the car one way. None of us were into that, but Louisville was so good. I'm so excited about Louisville. You don't even know. I'm like, I need to move there, at least temporarily, at least for a couple of months. I want to live there, but I'll get into that in a little bit. So the Imaginarium is kind of a smorgasbord of creative events. You've got films, you've got talk about comics and anime and video games and books. It's mainly books and literature. There's a little sales room. This was the 8th year, I think, and it continues to get bigger from what I've heard. This was my first time going, and it was a good time. So the things that I did there is I moderated 2 panels. I was on one panel, and then I gave 3 workshops. My workshops were interior book layout, teaching how to use Microsoft Word to do book layouts. And trust me, I am so much better at doing it now with styles and creating a template than I was in the video that you'll find on my channel here. I should actually do a new video on interior layout that is so much more concise and better, because I have learned a lot of stuff, and that makes my old video kind of embarrassing. So at some point I might do another interior layout video that is much more concise and better. I also did a workshop on audiobook casting, distribution, and etiquette. And I also did, this was a surprise to me, it was my most attended workshop, which was Meisner for writing. And Meisner, if you don't know, is an acting method by Sanford Meisner. It's all about being in the moment, being dynamic, being responsive. And I'm going to do a video on it on this channel at some point, because I think it is one of the best acting methods to transform, that I know of, to bring into the writing sphere, to make your writing more organic, more realistic, and make more sense, really. I've talked about it in a couple other videos. I think mostly my pitching, I think I talked about it in my pitching one. Whichever one says solve 99% plot holes in the title. And I know that I've talked about it in some of the Reddit videos that I've done. But it is so good. And one of my favorite phrases that I've been using since I gave that seminar, because I did a whole PowerPoint thing with it, was a quote from Meisner that was, "Acting is living truthfully in imaginary circumstances." And when it comes to writing, that is exactly how I write my characters, how I write my situations, as I learn who the characters are, what they're doing, where they're going, and I live truthfully in imaginary circumstances. Whatever those fantastical elements are, I'm still living truthfully within them. And I think that is one of the things that will elevate your writing to being so much more believable, whether you're writing satire or something much more serious. Because I like to pretend that even Dead End Drive is realistic within its own frameworks, even if it is kind of over the top. I believe we can all recognize some of those over-the-top people. If I look like I'm crying, I promise I'm not crying. I got something in my eye, and my eye is just so annoyed now. Anyway, so I gave some seminars. I also went to the museum. You'll see some of the pictures on the display of the museum that I went to, the Speed Museum over there in Kentucky. They had a paper dress setup and some other weird art, as you can probably see, but the highlight, and I did not have enough time in Kentucky. Oh my gosh. One, I wanted to go to the Waverly Hills Sanatorium so bad, but they weren't giving tours the weekend that I was there, which is super unfortunate. But if you don't know much about me, I freaking love abandoned buildings, and my favorite are asylums, sanatoriums, prisons, you know, kind of the worst places. But what can you expect from somebody that's got a Jeffrey Dahmer action figure? You don't have to worry about me, I swear it's fine. I'm only a little bit eccentric. But the best part, aside from the conference, because this is totally divorced from the conference, but my favorite part about being in Kentucky was going on the ghost tour with, what is it, David Domine? I know that I'm probably pronouncing it wrong because I feel like there's an apostrophe over his last name. But we went to, my guest and I went to a ghost tour in Old Louisville, and we walked through the most haunted neighborhood in America, Old Louisville, with all of these houses from, the late 1800s. And he gave us all of these stories. And I don't know if you know this, but I've already been developing my next story. Meanwhile, Bleed More, Body More is now getting 2 more books, so I also have to develop those. But I've been developing this whole other story inspired by this song. And I'll share it all later. I had a tentative last name for the main character. I had the general idea for the characters set up, just kind of who they are. And I think I had a vibe that was pretty much it. But going on this tour, I got his first name. And now I have a location, which is going to be in Old Louisville, because it is so perfect. Oh my gosh. So I am so excited. I cannot even explain how excited I am. I bought 2 books, gonna get a 3rd one from our ghost tour guy, because he wrote books about the haunted neighborhood. This one was from when he was living in one of the haunted houses for a couple of years, and this one is just about a bunch of the different buildings in the neighborhood. So I am so excited to do research on this neighborhood, to embody the personality of the neighborhood. If you read Bleed More, Body More, coming out in October, I definitely think that you should get it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You'll kind of get a sense of the vibe that I'm getting for Old Louisville from the way that I write about Baltimore in Bleed More, Body More. It's kind of its own character. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of macabre. But this is gonna be a slightly more gothic, but you can get a vibe of kind of the personality that I'm going to instill or go for with Old Louisville. And I'm not saying that it's going to be the same as Baltimore. Baltimore has a very distinct personality that is Baltimorean. And Old Louisville has its own personality. But the way that Baltimore became sort of its own person and has its own sort of lore within the Bleed More, Body More universe, and the way that it deals with ghosts and all of that is kind of how I'm going to be developing whatever comes out of Old Louisville. And I'm so excited to come up with new lore and new mythology that works within the frameworks of Old Louisville. You don't even know how excited I am to work on that. At the same time, I'm super excited to work on the upcoming Bleed More, Body More books, and there's just so much stuff that I want to work on and not enough time for all of it. It's so terrible, but just look at all these awesome houses. Ugh, I need more time. Guys, I need more time. I don't even know what to work on next, because I know I can't read those books or else I'm going to get into that book vibe, and I have to work on the Bleed More, Body More books first. I also have the Dead End Drive 2 novel, which is supposedly coming out next fall, with the 2-year anniversary of Dead End Drive 1. The Dead End Drive 2 book will be called The Benedict Estate, and it will be not a prequel, but it will be a story before the events of Dead End Drive that deals more with Agatha and Bertrand and their love affair, because I love it so much that the two of them just couldn't be together because he was Asian and she was white, and it was before the 1960s, so it was illegal for them to live together, let alone, you know, date. And so they had their secret covert relationship that even after interracial marriage became legalized, Agatha still couldn't cross over that Rubicon socially. And so you get to see not only that strain on their relationship, but the different ways that the will reading affected Agatha. So like with the Dead End Drive, you get to see Kelly going through the will reading, and there are a couple of references to when Agatha went through it. But the Benedict estate will play more with how Agatha and technically Bertrand coped with the events of that night and how their lives have been, and you'll get more of this idea of the mythology around the Benedict estate. The whole idea of calling it the Benedict estate has to do a lot with how the nearby town of Parvenu murmurs and gossips about the town, how people go there and disappear, about the way that everybody knows of the bloodthirst, and just the kind of it's not adversarial, but it's a defensive relationship against the Benedict estate because they hate it, but they also can't stop interacting with it in the way that the tradition requires, because what happens at the Benedict estate is what keeps Parvenu from becoming poor and everybody starving. So everybody just has to agree, but those that end up going to the Benedict estate are usually terrible people, and people in Parvenu don't really like to interact with those that live and work at the Benedict estate. Particularly those that live at the Benedict estate, because there are many that live in Parvenu that travel over to the Benedict estate and do not live there. Anyway, so the Benedict estate will be the pre-events to Dead End Drive, and you'll get to see Anna as a child, and Ellie as a child, and Gavin as a child, and Bertrand killing Beauregard the First, and young Angus, which is going to be really fun. And you'll get to see the relationship between some of these characters before it became super intense with a Dead End Drive. So I don't know why I went into that tailspin, but I just have so many projects, man. So, and recapping all of that stuff, Bleed More, Body More, my supernatural thriller, is coming out in October of this year. Definitely check it out because it's going to be a good time, and the cover is beautiful. I mean, come on. It's even more beautiful in person. The cover by the wonderfully talented Samuel Johnson. Ugh. Then in May of next year, my satire thriller, Boom Boom Boom, is slated. And theoretically, presently, the Benedict estate is set up for next fall. And at some point in there, Bleed More, Body More 2, whatever it's going to be called, is going to fit somewhere in there next year. I think, maybe, we'll see. I have a lot of work to do. So, we're going to see how all of that plays out. Anyway, I don't really know what else I have to say. I guess this, like I said, this was kind of just a catch-up video. I wanted to talk about just going to the conference, and also the importance of going to conferences where you kind of talk to other people. And I know I'm kind of really terrible at talking to people, specifically in public settings, because I don't know if it comes across in my videos. I'm very socially awkward, and I don't drink. And a lot of book networking happens at the bars after hours. And I'm pretty much done. Like, I'm shut off. I am pretty much almost as introverted as you can get. And even I recognize that I did not really talk to as many people as I probably could have, should have, whatever. But it was an opportunity to get out there. And I met a lot of really cool people while I was there, following some of them now on Instagram because like to stay in touch. I would love to do more conferences and actually table at some of them. So in the future, you may see me tabling at places. Also random fairs. I don't know yet. I'm trying to find places to go that is also not 15 hours away every time. But if you're interested, I am also very happy to do more workshops or panels. So, I mean, I'm looking for those, but if you're looking for people to speak at your events, contact me through my website. It's linked down in the description below. And I guess that is mostly all. I'm so excited for these 2 books by David Domine, D-O-M-I-N-E. Oh my gosh, there was one moment during the the ghost tour where he started telling us about this house, and he mentioned the names Jeff and Joey, and just the 2 together. Like, I knew Joey Muntz, or no, Jeffrey Muntz. Jeffrey Muntz, Joey... No, never. I keep forgetting Joey's name. But he mentioned Jeffrey and Joey together. And I'm like, wait a second, I know these dudes. I know those names. And then he kept going, and I recognized it almost immediately as one of the stories that chapter has covered, which that chapter is a fantastic true crime channel. Fun Irish guy. I highly recommend checking him out if you enjoy true crime stories. He does lesser known, smaller things, not like Ted Bundy, but a lot of contemporaries, actually. So I would highly recommend him if you enjoy true crime stuff. But that was a lot of fun to be on that tour, and then like, oh, all of a sudden, I know this story. I didn't even realize that would be in here. So that is all for today. I don't want to bore you with too much random content. Loin Stream will be back on this Friday as I finally recover from all of the craziness between work and the conference. And we will be reading Empress Teresa by Norman Boughton. I know I can't do names, I'm sorry. But the Loin Stream will be back Friday night, 8:15 Eastern Time. Join us for the reading and the discussion. We're just gonna have a good old time. And I think that's all. Follow me over on Instagram to stay closer up to date-ish with maybe the more creative stuff that I do, and also some of the travel stuff that I'm looking at or have done, or I don't know. All that said, let me know what you guys are working on down in the comments. I would love to hear what your projects are, what your goals are, what you might be struggling with. Maybe we can help motivate one another, because as solitary as writing is, I think it takes something of a community to, just be encouraging, to be like, you can push through it. So I look forward to hearing about what you are working on, and if you need support, just let me know. I will give you all of the kind words that I have, and as a writer, you know that there are many kind words. So I don't know where this is going. Thank you so much for watching. For the update, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, also feel free to let me know. And if you have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see me do in the future, I would love to know what would help you guys out the most. Do you enjoy the book reviews? Do you have specific craft related questions? I can't say that I have all of the answers, but I can share the answers that I have found with you, and maybe the methods and things that I do or have tried will help you, or they will spark new ideas in you that I could never have imagined. So that's one of the things I love about this channel. So let me know if there's any way that I can help you, any videos that you would like me to focus on, and I guess I will see you around. Have a great Monday, and don't die.
The only people who should come are those who want to meet their monsters.
If this is what Agatha wants, I don't know how we can even dispute it.
I change lives, baby.
And I end them. Sweetheart, no bargains hold. Only fools know restraint.
Only losers lose!
I've been under the knife so many times, I'm practically immune to it.
If your scissors are dull, may I recommend sharpening them with leather?
I think I hit you.
Mima says I must have a guardian angel.
To enter the ring but abstain from playing is suicidal. Your virtue makes you nothing but a liability.
You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die.